This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Right, everyone, I hope you're all doing fantastic. If you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. My gift to you, absolutely free. All right? Anyway, welcome. So, thank you, Mansour, for sending me this link. And for you guys, I'll try and put it into the description box. The link comes from Twitter, and Twitter are a little bit funny about copying links lately. I don't quite know what's going on. But if I can't, go over to Michael Benson on Twitter. He's writes for TalkSport. You guys know who he is. Anyway, on there, he has put a link to Andy Ruiz Jr. talking about his rematch with Anthony Joshua December 7th in Saudi Arabia, where he says he ain't going to Saudi Arabia because he's got no protection over there. And the rematch, while he's happy to give Anthony Joshua the rematch will happen on his terms. And he's saying it will be in the United States of America. So I don't quite know why he keeps on doing this. I mean, Eddie Hearn is giving us the impression that everything is locked in. And if Ruiz doesn't go wherever they choose it for the rematch to go, then there'll be some legal proceedings. So to my understanding, when there's a rematch clause and that's activated, you must go through with it, with everything that's in line with the contract. If there's a rematch clause in there, you must activate it. If there's a location in there as well, as in the other party choose a location, that's where you have to go. The money, everything is sorted, everything is predetermined before the first fight happens. So, Andy Ruiz Jr. keeps on saying this kind of thing, which is kind of leading me to believe that there's some kind of loophole somewhere. I don't quite know what's going on. Or Andy Ruiz Jr., he's just, he's just feeling himself. He feels like, you know, I should be the A side and I call the shots, when in reality, he doesn't for this one fight only. Listen, if he fights Joshua again and beats Joshua, of course, he dictates everything going forward, doesn't he? But right now, this was part of the rules of the first fight. Now, for those of you who say, yeah, but Anthony Joshua, he lost the belt, so therefore he should go wherever Ruiz says that it should be. Ruiz is the champion, blah, 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 as in disregard the rematch clause. Just imagine if it's maybe your favourite fighter. For example, if you're a Deontay Wilder fan, he's going to be taking on Luis Ortiz, apparently. I don't quite know what the hold-up with that one is. But let's just say, for instance, Luis Ortiz defeats Wilder. There's going to be a rematch clause. Luis Ortiz is like, yeah, sure, you can have the rematch. And yeah, okay, it was in the contract that you get to choose where it is and what the money is, etc. But actually, I'm going to dictate the terms for the rematch and you're coming to Cuba. All right? It's that kind of scenario. Or Otto Wallin versus Tyson Fury. Otto Wallin somehow gets a win over Tyson Fury, says, okay, fine, I'm going to call the shots for the rematch. Forget the contract. I'm going to call the shots for the rematch, and it's going to happen in Sweden. Okay, so it's a similar kind of situation, all right? So I don't quite know what it is that Andy Ruiz is doing. Does he got Al Heyman in his ear? I don't know. I mean, he talks about how he's got no protection in Saudi Arabia. Well, nor's Joshua. Okay, it's a neutral location. Joshua doesn't know people in Saudi. To my knowledge, I don't think Joshua's ever been to Saudi. He's been to Dubai, but not Saudi. Does he know anybody in Saudi? I have absolutely no idea. But no matter what, isn't it just a ring? Everything is set, you know? I mean, Andy Ruiz will be treated like a king. He is the champion. Saudi are looking forward to having the champion over there and putting on this great fight, this great show. So I don't quite know what it is that Andy Ruiz is trying to do here. Maybe he just wants everybody to believe that he has some kind of say in this rematch, when in reality he doesn't. Maybe that's what it is. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see what it is that Eddie Hearn says, because ultimately, when you refuse a rematch and there's a clause in there, you ultimately lose your belts and you can't fight again unless you fight that person, or unless that opponent releases you from that contract. So effectively, if Ruiz doesn't take this and go through with it, and Eddie Hearn and Joshua say, no, it is Saudi, and he's saying, well, then I ain't coming, then effectively Ruiz is calling on his retirement, isn't he? And potentially lose all the money that he earned in the first fight from being sued. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. It all adds to a bit of spice, doesn't it? Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.